I just want to take a moment to be like, look at this little bean. She is purring so loud right now. And she's doing all the karate and giving me all the headbutts. She's very pleased. Which is extremely unfortunate. Because of course she demands pets. Right as I'm going live. Hi. Thanks. But she's also precious. And she's being so dang cute. And I love her so much. Wonder if I can convince her to lay quietly and unmovingly in my lap. It's the llama! She decided to wake up and demand affection. Right as I went live. So we're just gonna take a minute to appreciate how dang cute she is. And how sweet she's being. She's purring. She's snuggling. She just wants all of the love right now. Hi friends! I was gonna wait to start a little longer before I popped out to say hello, but I just needed to share this goober right here. This creature right here that I'm having to cradle. Hi! A Lamia update. She's doing much better. My dad and I had to do a bunch of research on our own to figure out the best way to treat her. Because the vet that we saw wasn't the greatest. He was fine, but he's new and doesn't know me or the animals because our usual vet wasn't available. It's the same place that we always go to, but they're not, I don't know. They were very, very busy. Anyway, he was new and didn't know what he was doing. I'm gonna sit you down now, okay? And like, he wouldn't explain anything to me. And like, wouldn't use any of the actual terms, so I'm sitting here being like, I just want to know what's wrong with my cat, my guy. Like, I do understand white blood cell counts and shit like that, so can you just give me the numbers? And he wouldn't, but it's fine, whatever. Anyway, so we're doing our own treatment right now, and it's doing great. She's peeing, she's happy, she's eating food fine, she's doing very good. She's back to just sleeping all of the time, but that's normal. I mean, they usually do. The new guy, like I said, he was like brand new, and I don't think small animals were usually his purview, since the vet that I see handles livestock and domestic pets. It's whatever. I assume nothing was out of whack since he didn't tell me as far as her blood work was concerned. I mean, I will in the future. It doesn't matter. I've got it handled. It's fine. But she's doing fine now. So, like I said, they put us with him because they didn't have any other vets available at the time, and that's fine. She's doing fine now, though. So I'm not concerned. She's sleepy, but no more than normal. When she's awake, she's doing all of her things. It's all fine. But yeah, she's doing good. Stream tonight. More in sound mind. And I'm excited about that. My head's fairly empty right now. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like garbage today. Honestly, real talk, I feel like absolute shit. But it's fine. Grip it and rip it. I think I'm just exhausted and ready for everything to be done. But that's not gonna happen. So let's just enjoy things while we can. I'm excited about this game. It's gonna be great. I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah. Let's play this dope-ass game that we've been liking so far. That's basically all I got for right now. think I'm just cold and crotchety. And annoyed. But it's fine. Alright, hold on a second. This is gonna take me a minute because I forgot to set up the game capture. Whoopsies. It's gonna be real big. It's gonna be very big. Because my lovely daughter is not very big. I got the content warning set up. Game link is updated. It's all ready to go. I've also decided that I will only move my camera up here so that y'all can see how much ammo we've got when we're using ammo. But as far as it telling you what room we're in, you can deal with not seeing it. You can deal with not seeing it. Can we continue game, please? Thank you. I am very excited to get back to this. I was really enjoying it when we played it on Monday. And whoa, sensitivities. Wacky again. I am excited to see what else we're gonna come across. Wait, we've already talked to you about that. I mean, glass gotta be wrapped in cloth, otherwise we're gonna hurt our fingies. Our sweet little fienders.
Is there a link between Virginia and Alan?
Yeah, probably.
Out.
Let me...
I guess I'm about to find out.
Tanya, shh.
Be careful, Desmond.
Right? Not the fienders. I just want to make sure I'm not, like, rolling over
songs with
Lamia.
this.
The taco glass, right? Because it looks like a... whatever. Tortilla. We listened to it last time, Tanya. I just want to put it away. I also wanted to, like, look over this real fast, because we didn't really do that. Oh, no, we did. Okay, it's basically just saying that Virginia's mother was a piece of shit and made her participate in pageants and made her feel like garbage. You know, like parents do.
Good luck.
Alright, let's check it out. It's time for Alan's tape. Let's go! Game time. Hello, Luna! It builds character! Yes! Thanks, Mom, for giving me a lifetime worth of personality disorders. Hi, Luna, how's it going? How are you? Sorry, pouring out the rest of my soda. Alright, we gotta be better about our running and jumping. No more falling into the water.
Hey, Mr. Shore, tape's running. Thank you for agreeing to be recorded.
Oh, should I just start talking? What do you want to know?
It's not what I was
What
expecting
made you
Alan to
decide
sound
seek
like.
Man, Doc, it's just weird. As in, I feel weird, like I'm weird all the time, you know? I'm not saying this right. People think I'm weird, and it's cool, I am, but I shouldn't feel weird, right?
Oh, buddy. Sorry, it sounded like a cat just yelled at me. Are you fine?
How exactly do you feel weird?
I don't have to stay here.
Odd, slightly tilted. I've had these nightmares ever since I can remember. I've always had these horrific dreams I can't explain. They recur, man, like there are themes in them that keep coming back. And honestly, Doc, it's been such a constant that I shape my life around them, you know?
Smartly demanding forbidden food. No forbidden food for him. He doesn't get any.
Have you ever seen anyone about
He's gonna
recurring
sneak in
nightmares?
a couple bites
Like
of
a
it,
shrink,
but then I'm
like
gonna
you
find him and
know.
be like, Farley, not your food.
For the longest time, I thought it was normal.
It's Farley season, y'all.
Sweating.
He's not up here right now, I don't think.
Dark.
It's probably Devo in the other room. Honestly. If it was anything, it was probably Devo just chatting away, because that's what he do. Fartley season! Fartley season! Our boy is here to hang out, also. These whale bones are huge.
That frightens you, Alan.
Oh,
See, that's
sorry.
the thing I don't get. My
It's
whole
the-
life, I could feel the presence of shadows. I
It's the
could
cassette
hear
tape.
sorrow
That's so
in the dark.
cool. I like this
Poetic, man, I
game.
know. I got so used to being paralyzed by dread that I began to like it. And people notice, you know, I say weird stuff sometimes, I guess. At some point, I just decided to live comfortably in this reality, maintaining a beacon of light over a sea of darkness, alone and afraid. But
Can you
I'd
give
be
Ellen a
lying if
hug?
I didn't admit to being swallowed by darkness or sinking in the depths. It makes me feel alive, man.
That's
It's
Devo.
electric.
Devo do be like that sometimes. He'll just randomly yell and be like, I'm fine! Everything's fine! It's like, okay, Devo, I would hope so. How's everyone doing tonight, though? How are you? How are you? Right? Look, I pay attention to my kid all the time. My cat kid. All the time. He... I have heard him just go on, like, full conversations with himself. Rooms away from anybody. And he'll just be happily, like, chatting at himself, and it's adorable. I love Devo. Look at you, Mr. Private Detective. What do you think is behind all this? Bigfoot? Aliens? Big bad government officials? Shed some light on the situation, why don't ya? Also, the S in the corner. Maybe he's talking to ghosts? Honestly, I would believe that. Devo's a special little buddy. We love him. Is that somebody up there? That's 100% someone up there. It's very hard to see, but like here, directly under the light. Is it Trenchcoat Man? It's Trenchcoat Man. Trenchcoat Man! You better be nice to us today. But yeah, like, I'll listen to him. Sometimes, I mean, you know, he does the crying thing a lot, but he will just be, like, happily chattering to himself. No other cat will be in there. But just, like, for minutes on end, will just be, like, chirping and chattering. Because he's a goober. We love him. That's all health. Is there anything else over here? Does this work here? Does this not work here? Does our... I don't know that our mirror piece works here like it did in the other worlds, where it highlighted all of the key items? Or just any sort of interactable item? That's a bit of a problem. I actually gotta use my eyes? That seems weird. Video game. Okay. Great. Great! You love to see it. Something big enough to take down the trees. Fantastic! This is very open, and I hate it. Alright. Well... this seems like where they want me to go. As a very bright light bulb. What is this, though? Before we do that, let's pick up this ammo. And, figure out what's going on from here. Hello? The light! I have to restore it. Excuse me? Do I have to hide from the lighthouse? Oh, I'm scared. we got a light, or hide from the lighthouse. Fantastic. It was me, I turned it out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Birds, please. Both the light and the dark will hurt you. Perhaps like him, you should get a job at the lighthouse. Alone and afraid. Look. Buddy. I'm gonna need you to be a little less of an asshole, okay?
In Greek mythology,
It's the
Icarus
dinosaur.
flies too close to the sun and it kills him. I'll spare you the analogy. In our story, you're going to bring the sun to Alan, and the both of you will burn.
Point Icarus Lighthouse, Milton Wharf, Patmos Lookout. Let's go the opposite way that they want us to go. Well, we will in a second. I want to grab these. Or assumably they want us to go towards the lighthouse, but we'll have to double back anyhow. So we might as well come over here, right? Oh, it does work. Good. Wow. Look at all that stuff. It's all way too far away for us to get right now. Let's go. Great. Not even an issue. Wasn't even a problem. Those goopy lads are like... I don't know. They're fine. We can handle them. I'm not worried about them, basically, is what I'm saying. What is this? Virgil County Blackouts. Is the truth stranger than fiction? Written by Jorge. The same Jorge who worked at that grocery store? What else could it be but a high-powered EMP, says Lenny Crum as he puts the final touches on a sign that reads, Planet Home. One of several homemade signs made by locals today as the Extraterrestrials of Milton biannual gathering. Theories and conspiracies could be heard at every turn as residents try to make sense of the recent sudden blackouts around the county. Georgieff. I remember him well. Look, it probably malfunctioned when the aliens approached Earth, or they did it on purpose, says Lenny. This is far from the only speculation we've heard over the last few days, and it's important to note that it doesn't seem to be receiving much, if any, attention from other news sources. While this investigative journalist doesn't wish to raise any red flags, I can't help but wonder why that is. Have we finally stumbled onto a real conspiracy? One is being closely monitored by government suits and protected by a gag order? Or are we reading too much into the mundane? This and more on the next edition of Milton Mysteries. Great. So we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists now. Wonderful. Is there anything worth seeing? This makes my eyes do things that I don't dig. I think the moon's moving? Which, I mean, would make sense. Let me... Let me follow that up with... The moon does move. Perhaps when the sun lays its head upon a pillow of water and clouds respond in orange and pink, You shall see the revelations John did at Patmos. Anonymous. Am I supposed to wait until sunrise then? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, well, this was fun. This was a great detour. I'm really glad that we stopped here. Why are we here? This is blocked. Sorry, no light at the end of this tunnel. Maybe at the top of the tower? Bottom of the pit? Oh, it's fine. We got some pills. Pills here. Okay. I am still... I think I'm still gonna try and do... or collect all of the things as much as possible. But we'll see if I get bored of doing that. Alright, what do we got? These crows are making weird noises. Road checkpoint. This is gonna suck. Is what I'm hearing. Those don't blow up, so that's a little unfortunate. Hi, Goopy Man. Hey, can you back up a little bit? There are suddenly so many of you. This is a bit of an issue. Why were you green? Why was he green? Okay, hold on a second. There's one in there. Bunch of stuff over there. Will this one explode? It does. You can't just ask someone why they're green. Watch me. Watch me. I'm gonna do it. I've done it once, I'll do it again. What of it? I don't know where it's coming around. Okay. I do appreciate that there's like a significant amount of time between when the light from the lighthouse shows up. Also, look, if I don't ask them why they're green, who's going to? Okay. It's gone up the hill.
As he climbed higher and higher in the sky, do you think Icarus contemplated how weird a person he was? Why can't he just be normal? Do you think his parents pushed him to be a lawyer? To be a doctor? Like your parents did?
Rude. Rude.
It's blocked from the other side.
But I want in there. Game. Game, consider letting me in? Hear me out. Let me in? Can't do anything there just yet. There's so much stuff in there, though. I know it's dark, I'm sorry. Huh? Okay, but how do I get up there? Always trying to negotiate with doors. They're very bad at listening. Please. I want to get up there. But to do that... Excuse me? I have to know how to use my hands. Or figure out how to get up there and then jump over. Is that the play? Also, hello, Fruity. Welcome in. How are you doing? How is it going? Trying to hide from the terrible light. Can we... I've only gone and figured it out.
Too much for one man.
Getting a paint happened. Nice. Nice. Which army you painting this time? Mystery deepens in Lighthouse fire. On Monday last week, we at Virgil County Gazette found out that an ominous call had been made to local police. The caller on the other side of the line did not identify himself, but after some investigating, we believe it might have been Milton Haven's Alan Shore, lighthouse operator at the beloved Patmos Bay. Ask any county local and... Right now, anything that needs skin tone done. Fair enough. Always very excited when you're painting the little guys. Because that means I get to see them eventually. Great! We've done it. Is there anything else in here? There is not. Fantastic! Alright, whatever big thing is around that's causing all these problems for us is gooping everything.
It's cold in here.
Elf butts. Look. The elf butts do need painting. Can't be mad at them about that. I don't know if this is the most intelligent way to go. Not necessary to go there. So let's go this way. Please, sir. Ma'am or pal. Okay, there's like multiple ways to get up here then. Is there a thing over here? This is very foggy and hard to see, game. Okay, that seems less important. They will tell you that Virgil County residents, specifically Milton Haven, are no strangers to spooky events and unexplainable phenomena. From disappearing children to reports of ghost sightings and extraterrestrial visits. So why has this incident caught our attention so? As many of you know, last week's mysterious blackout and maybe not so coincidental fire at Patmos Lighthouse grounds may very well be linked. Alan Shore's house after the arson. Has there been a light case of arson occurring? Because that's pretty exciting.
Oh, it's cold in here.
Well, then don't step in it, you goob.
Something stops me from getting closer.
Well, don't step in there. Right? Gotta call Bugsy. Bugsy will figure it all out. What's this say? Icarus Lighthouse, authorized to be constructed by President Harrison in 1889, completed in 1891, at a cost of $22,000, or $22,300. There we go. Why was it brain? When the lighthouse was completed, it stood some 300 feet from the edge of the cliff. The sandstone tower is 28 feet in diameter, of an octagonal shape, and 80 feet to the lantern. Also, who cares? We're all gonna die sooner or later, and these facts mean nothing. Are you even sure that you're really standing here reading this? Maybe this is some sort of horrific fever dream. Here's a random number. 300,000! Alan Shore was burned alive by the government. Hi, Bono! Thank you for the lurk, friend. Always delightful to see you and hear from you. I hope you're doing well. We have gotten back, or, well, back. We have gotten here. So that's exciting. Gonna hide back here. No unauthorized entry. Dangerous chemical and biological agents have been detected. Excuse me. Have been detected in this area. Milton Wharf, Icarus Lighthouse, which may lead to serious injury, death, or... injury, illness, or death. Thank you. I'm oh so very sneezy. Ooh. Oh, the light doesn't reach us because we're like right under it. That makes sense. I see, I see. That's health that I cannot use. Woof. I'm gonna keep checking these, but like... so far, nothing. I can't explode that. Alright, let's ignore the warning. And, head on inside. You got...
Courtyard is locked.
I'm gonna need you to, take me out to dinner first, my guy. This maniac probably melted the keys to all those, these doors along with his damned house. When management hears about it, it's gonna be it's gonna be your ass. Get someone to go in there and fish them out if they still exist. I'm not setting a foot in there. And the whole thing seems unstable and smells of burnt human flesh. Signed, Agent Mulholland. Oh, I'm scared. I just want to get a look at you, my guy. Oh. We need multiple fuses. Okay. He's like a little skelly boy in there. to get a look? Emmy, it's Yuri! Practically. Just lower. Yeah! Okay, I need to move. Oh.
It's a fuse box.
Are you shitting me? Hey! 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 I'm gonna need you to not be all up in my jelly like that, my dude. Just lower, yeah. She doesn't hang out on the ground. Sorry. He can like jelly, I just need him to not be in my jelly. Alright, that's all I'm asking. Just be not in my jelly. Go make your own jelly elsewhere. Okay, let's... That's battery. Buddy. There's a thing over there. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I mean, eventually in there, right? I am concerned for this creature over here. Desmond, I need you to go faster! Oh. Okay,
Feeling bloated.
we're gonna take that and we're gonna fucking run! I really like the monster designs in this game.
It's a fuse box.
They're very good. Let's put it in that one. And then let's get on over here. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. Thank you, though. Okay, I'm gonna stand in the light for a moment. So I can see where all of the items are hiding. And they are all over the place. That's too dark. I can't see in there.
I'm stuffed.
Okay, buddy. This is creepy. Take a look at yourself through the looking glass and see how shrouded in darkness a mind like Alan's could be. I do love the mirror mechanic, honestly. Make it bright. Illuminated. Oil can.
It's an old oil lantern.
Oil in there.
It's out of fuel.
What is happening? Oh no, like I said, like I am seriously enjoying this game. The puzzles are really neat. The overall vibe is really awesome. I was in the tower when it happened. I took the route down the cliffs into the boathouse, falling as I fumbled around, unable to see. Don't have... Oil!
The lantern is off.
Oil! Of all the nightmares I'd had to date, this must be the worst. My light went out and there was an accident. Oh god, it's all my fault. Oh, buddy. He didn't mean to set everything on fire. He just did. Please don't scream at me. This does make me excited to play, like, more survival horror games in general. That ship is Death. It bears Death's name. I managed to find one of those flare guns from inside the belly of the beast. I'm not afraid to use it. 'Cause, like... Is this, a little too close to home for you, Fruity? The monsters I was told that I was making up have now stepped forth out of the shadows. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to use the mirror to find the oil cans, but they're just, like, right there. But they are just, like, right there.
There's darkness in the way. It's blocked by darkness.
Okay, but there's
It's an
one.
old oil lantern.
But yeah, at some point, it's like, I want to play The Evil Within, because I've never played it before. And I've heard mixed things about it, but I think it would be fun to, like, finally get to it. I've got Alan Wake, the remaster of Alan Wake just sitting around, waiting for us to get to. By my light, the darkness will burn. I need to call Desmond. He would understand. Oh, buddy. He didn't know boats could burn. It's a right shame, that, isn't it? Okay, what have I... Hey, buddy. I'm gonna need you to not be in here, okay? Everything's breaking! How am I supposed to get out? My flashlight, speaking of Alan Wake. Take a look at yourself through the glass. Yeah. Okay. How about I don't? How about I just stay here for a minute? Thank you. Sorry, I have like cat fur or something on my face. I am itchy. Those are gonna be way past where we are. Okay, where am I going then? Wait, I have the key, don't I? Okay, so then I can do that. I just feel bad for our little goopy boy. I felt bad for Mirror Lady, for Victoria. Now Alan's over here just being an absolute mess, and I just want to make it better. I would like for them to feel better. Agent Redacted instructions, or Agent Redacted's instructions, are to take all highly flammable containers of blank from the bay, or the blank, and move them indoors. No smoking, flare guns, or explosives near this crap. Keep an eye on that driver smoking around transport. If he gives you, I assume, shit about it, arrest him. You mean this? No.
In a world full of darkness, it is reasonable to try and find light. Alan did when he went down to that ship. But did it clear the way, or did it set his world aflame? I dare you to go down there and find out.
I mean, I'm gonna. I saw that door open. You don't scare me. Okay. I'm just, in general, gonna have to pay attention to Goopy Allen now, aren't I? Make sure he doesn't come get us. Okay, this is fine. Welcome to Icarus Point! Guided tour of one of the oldest lighthouses in the Pacific Northwest. Start our tour at the Lighthouse. At the Lighthouse Museum, a faithful recreation of the original lighthouse keeper lodging. Our tour continues in the courtyard, which offers a breathtaking view of Patmos Bay. If you're feeling bold, take the route beneath the courtyard to visit the old boathouse. Finally, we end our tour on the top of the lighthouse, where the red light of damnation will devour your eternal soul. We hope you enjoy your time at Icarus Point, and if a certain therapist is reading this, we look forward to seeing you die. Thanks. It's me. I'm the certain therapist. Great. It's great when people are, rooting for ya.
It's a fuse box.
Let's go get those other 2 fuses back. This seems like a thing that we should probably just do now since we're here. And I know what they want me to do, you know? Oh, this is a bit of a problem. Okay, alright. Kinda went the wrong direction, but that's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna leave this one on... No, I'm not. I'm gonna take that. He's so goopy. I do think that's a battery, though, so I might grab that. Just to have. Goodbye, sir. Onwards. See, it's so much easier to just get it now while we're thinking about it than having to come back.
It's a fuse box.
Not entirely sure if this is what we need. I think it is. I think it is what we needed. That's okay. Well, we've done it. What does this say? Excuse me. Ignoring his father's instructions not to fly too close to the sun, and it, in turn, melting the wax of his wings, Icarus fell out of the sky and into the ocean, where he found his death at the hands of his hubris. Want to go down there and poke at a dead body? Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. There's a boat over there. There is the moon. Great. You love to see it. Let's continue on then. Fantastic. Well. Ah! Hey, can you not throw garbage down here? I'm walking here, buddy. Okay, this is horrible. I'm walking here. You don't fucking talk like that. Forget about it. Sorry. Whoa! Whoa! My legs! Whoopsies! I don't know that I was supposed to walk around the edge there. I was looking for secrets, but I should probably deal with the, life-threatening situation at hand before I try and find fun little hidden things. Right? Okay, no, I am supposed to go this terrible, awful way. Just maybe not get knocked off.
Too much for one man.
Okay, I cannot see. Is this door? Either or. Oh, I see. Great. I'm scared. No, 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 get out. Okay, I wasn't ready for you to go in there yet, buddy. Okay. Hold on. I'm just trying to find secrets. That's all. Well, now that's open at least. Okay, this is fine. This is all fine. All this bad flashing and flickering, this is all fine. Give me that crank wheel. Give me the batteries.
It's a base for a crank wheel.
Let's put the crank wheel in there. Now we can get out. What do we got here? Instructions for the boat mechanism. Lowering a small boat into the water is a two-man job. Do not attempt to lower the boat on your own. Once a person is safely in the boat, a second person will use the crank to slowly lower the boat down to the water. Always check the boat and rope for breaks and tears before use. Cool. I don't have a second person with me. So we're gonna break the rules as one does. And have fun that way. Okay, it does appear that I have gotten... It appears that I have gotten all the medications thus far. How many do we have on this level? 9 left. Wow, this is a this is a problem. Can we take the crank wheel back?
It pops out if I turn it too tight.
Oh, I see, I see. I understand. And then I hope. And then I hope.
It pops out if I turn it too tight.
Yeah, but... Desmond! Oh my god, you're an idiot. You're an actual idiot. No, no, I see what I can do. I understand. We've opened the door, so now we can just push this all the way through. And get out. Please. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now we'll do this.
Pops out if I turn it too tight.
And...
It's a base for a crank wheel.
I am an idiot. I do not understand. Like, I thought I could get out that way, but I can't? I got it. We've got it. We figured it out. Right? No, because I need that crank wheel. I am having some problems. Brain. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. And then...
It pops out if I turn it too tight. It's a base for a crank wheel.
Pivot! Pivot and turn! I need this. No, I get it. I do understand now. Also, hey Sketchy, how's it going? Desmond, you're not helping, buddy. You were being less than helpful. There we go. I got it. I got it. I got it. Just takes me a second. Oh no. Can I... Mac and cheese! Nice! Glad it's going well. Happy to hear it. I think I've gotten myself stuck. No, because I can... I'm so confused. Game.
It's a base for a crank wheel.
I got the crank out. Okay, but now I'm stuck. I didn't think I had gotten the crank out. Okay, no, it's fine. It's all fine. What do you got for dinner plans? Go through, and then...
It pops out if I turn it
Okay,
too tight.
I have the crank wheel in my hand. We can do this. We've done it. We've done it. Everything is great. So now it's time to put the crank wheel there. I definitely did not check for tears.
Bon voyage.
Sir! Sir! Oh, I have the wrong weapon out. Green are spitty boys. We understand now. Right? So rude. It's not my headcanon that that's you, though, Travis. You said you were gonna come help me with the upper crank. Is this what you meant? Is this what you had in mind? I don't know that I can trust you anymore, Travis. Look, I know we've done some sketchy shit in Valheim. You can't just cut the cord on my boat, though. That was, I don't know. Perfect. Beautiful. Let's use the mirror real quick so I can kind of see if there's anything here. There's a lot of stuff up there. I've missed a lot. Couple of enemies over there. This is fine. I don't fully appreciate that. Yeah, alright. Alright, acceptable, I guess. I want to not go through there, because that's where they want me to go. What is that? This hurts me, doesn't it?
I shouldn't be in these waters.
Murky waters are not an accurate reflection of this day. Please. Okay, now it's hurting me. How do we... I see. I do understand. Get out of the water, Desmond! This is gonna be horrible. Because I don't think I can just... Oh, but I can. Okay, good. I was like, if I have to walk through this backwards this whole dang time, then I'm gonna have an issue. But it's fine. We're smart. We got this handled. Where are the other pills, though? There's some there, and there's some up top. I have missed so much. It's fine. It's all fine. I don't appreciate that there's, like, no difference between the explosive barrels and just regular barrels. Makes it a little difficult. To, gauge what's happening. Some there. Okay, I haven't missed any then. Right? Because this is the direction that we need to go? Right? Or, if they're not gonna be red, then every barrel should be explosive or not. So the thing is, like, it kind of made it sort of established that, like, all of the barrels were explosive, but apparently not. Which, like... Okay, fine, but also clarify that. Which ones, what's what here? Do they all explode or do they not? Can't pick and choose without indicating to me. So, like... But those say flammable! So why are they not? It's fine. It's all fine. New orders! Blow it up! In case they haven't already left for storage elsewhere, if the barrels are flammable, stack them up and something to hell. Try and contain it to areas that will block access to blank. This includes blank. Seal this area shut. No blank witnesses. Signed, blank. Wow, blank is busy. But yeah, no, 100%. I need some sort of indication that the barrels are explosive. And red is kind of the expectation. So if we could just stick with that, that would be great. Thank you. It's fine. That's really, like, my only complaint. Okay, so can I blow these up now? Or can I not blow these ones up because they're kinda goopy?
There's unnatural darkness here.
I am aware, Desmond. However, I need you to do something about that. Or I guess I need to do something about it. But what? Head back this way? These have to be explosive. They're just not because they're covered in goop, right? So, like, that one blows up. And there's some ammo in there. Great. These all blow up. There's nothing in there, though. There's some health. You love to see it. Give me some more ammo. It's okay. USS Thanatos. The ship with death as a name. I understand. Okay. I suppose that makes sense. Stay the fuck out of Thanatos. It's not safe. There is a major blank. That stuff is everywhere. It's blank. Highly dangerous, flammable, and will blank as a kite in a matter of minutes. The captain and crew were, medevaced to somewhere. Great. Glad to know that the crew is in safe hands, I suppose. Not the nom voice line. Okay. It's a bloody anchor. You love to see it. Can we... It's all up there. Is there anything in the ship? I don't believe so. Okay. What do we got? What's happening? How do I get onto the ship? I know they said don't go on! But we all know I'm very bad at following the rules.
Looks fragile.
I see. This is fine and normal. Perfectly safe. Excuse me? Rude. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go back up. Was it worth it for the battery? No, absolutely not. Real talk. Not worth it. Okay. Let's go back to the scary voice. Thanatos doesn't want you here. Well, it's gonna have to deal with it for a little bit. Okay. I also don't want to be here. Please. Yeah, I also don't really want to be here. Ship. So if you could just show me where to go. We can get out of here fairly quickly. Always with the Stranger Things. We're gonna come across Demogorgon pretty quick. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. We're gonna be high as a kite.
Smells funny. I should stay away from this.
Sniff it. Sniff it some more. I just want there to be an easy way to switch between all of my items. Who knows where we are? You can't see it, but it did just pop up with our location of question mark, question mark, question mark? It's a whale! Yeah, I mean, this is definitely odd. I love the whale. Look at him! I like his little hands. That's dope. Okay, let's continue on. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Definitely one of the stranger things that we have come across today. But you know what? This is kind of what you expect when you go into a ship full of drugs.
Oh, come on.
Our goal? I don't know. I do love this though. Like, honestly. Get out of here, little toys. Give me that key. Alright, here's my running hypothesis right now, right? We found a couple of notes from some group. We take a lot of medications, and it has been mentioned that a big pharma corporation has moved in, right? I think that we were doing pretty alright for all of the patients that we've been seeing, but that potentially they were taking whatever medicine this Mayor Pharmaceuticals company was making. And it's something weird, and I don't think it's just like having a bad reaction to some medications. They're probably trying to do some weird mind control, turn everyone into monsters kind of nonsense. And that's why everything's all fucking weird. That's my current hypothesis. Is this game a metaphor for the opioid crisis? Mayhaps. Very well could be. Or just, you know, a big critique on Big Pharma in general. Holy shit. What are you guys doing? Capitalism and medication. Well, not medications. I don't want to say medications are bad, because medications are great if it's something that you need and something that works for you. But Big Pharma, capitalism in conjunction with medications is not great. Yeah, pharmaceutical companies. Bad. Do not like. There's that running joke of, like, specifically with, like, SSRIs and stuff like that, where it's like, look, if you can't make your own, store-bought is fine, and it's absolutely true. Oh no. I want to see up there. What we don't like is pharmaceutical companies gouging us for medications that we do need. There's a lot happening right now, and my vision is so blurry, and it's kind of making my tummy upset. Can we charge a 500% markup for things people need? I don't think you can. No, no, no. I think we can. This seems fine. No, no, no. But yeah, that's my running idea right now for what's going on in this game. Well, this is a problem. Well, this is a problem. Right? I'm like 100% here for this. It's very well done. Thus far.
Away the wax in his wings, and Icarus fell out of the sky and into the ocean where he drowned. You're
Rip.
flying too close to the sun, Desmond. Bad things happen to those who snoop.
Here goes nothing.
Let's just blow this shit up! I want to know who this new person is that's talking to us. Cool. Okay. Well, we got a flare gun now, so that's exciting. Oof.
Danger. Miscalculation.
That 100% looked like there was a person there, and I think that was the point. I need my gun, please! That's an issue. This is an issue. This is a problem. Please, you're like right in my face. How am I missing? I need you to hold still. That was the last bullet. Great.
Tastes like crap.
Great. I love this. This is wonderful. Just gonna quickly check to see if we have missed anything, and I think everything is on the mainland. Yeah. Okay. Great! Wonderful. We have fallen down. Can I look around? Now that we're not tripping balls, can we just do a quick snoop?
Delicious.
Can't go in. Which means I can't explore up there. Okay. Good to know. Which means there's nothing important up there. Because thus far, this game has not been rude about not being able to backtrack to where anything of import is. So let's go ahead and get out of here. I think there was some ammo over here. No. I know there was a battery lying around somewhere. We've passed so much ammo because we, like, didn't need any for a while. But the game kept giving it to us as if I was, like, using it. Which was not the case. There were no enemies, so why would I be doing that? Game, hear me out. Okay, is it time to use the flare gun on... This is a problem. On those couple of places that had barrels, but they were... I'm not here. You don't see me. Like this. Great. Just more flares.
There's only so much I can carry.
Okay. I mean, that's great. We love that. Because we did need more. But... Okay, yeah, that's just batteries. I need bullets. Game. If you would be so kind as to give me some bullets. I would love that. It would be fantastic. I would not complain about being armed. Right? Give bullets, please. Please, bullets. I need weapons. Unless... That missed, didn't it? Fuck. Here, come over here. Hey, come over here. That didn't work out very well. That didn't work out very well. Ah!
Is raiding with a party of
Oh, there's a raid.
Kayshurrr
Hello.
welcome you.
Angry raid. Hi, friends. Let me just start screaming as soon as you all show up. Sometimes you gotta go clubbing. It's fine. It's all fine. Emmy, Nem, hello, welcome in. Angry, thank you for the raid. I super duper appreciate it. Yo, how did your internet hold up? Did your internet do it good? Welcome in, friends. How is it going? Think some of you know me, but if you don't know who I am, my name is Kayshurrr. You can call me Kaysh. I'm an LGBTQ plus streamer who focuses on horror and mystery games. Made up for earlier years paying good. I see you're playing Guardians Crusade. How was it? Was it fun? Did you have a good time with it? Also, yeah, I fully understand and sympathize with shitty internet. It's only been like the last 6-ish months that I finally got like new internet that actually holds. But I had shitty country internet for a long while. I understand the pains of internet failing you. But yeah, welcome in, friends. Happy to have you here. We protect a baby. Perfect. It's been going good here. We are currently playing a game called In Sound Mind. It's very good. Yeah, we did used to have an outage command. It was so regular, my internet being a piece of shit, that I had to make a specific command just to explain the situation to folks. But yeah, we're playing a game called In Sound Mind. It's very good, very interesting. A frenetic psychological puzzle horror game. It's wild. But yeah, if anybody is new here, doesn't know what we do, like I said, we play horror games around here. We do try to make it as comfy and cozy as possible, because horror should be made accessible to as many people as possible. Totally understand if it's not your jam. Today's stuff isn't necessarily like super scary. It's more psychological horror, just kind of being a little spoopy. But we do offer content warnings for every single game that we play. If you ever need to pull those up, !CW is how you do it. I do, like I said, offer that for every single game that we play. It's very important. That we all make informed choices about the kind of content that we are partaking in. And I would much rather people know what we're getting into and see if that there's something that maybe you don't want to handle, don't want to deal with. You know, you don't gotta. Yes, Angry, go take a break. Angry and all the raiders who came in, you've been streaming for a little bit, hanging out at the computer for a while, assumably. We're only halfway through my stream. I got about an hour and a half left of what we're doing this evening. If you need to go take a break, please do that. Get up and stretch, get some water, get some food, go to the bathroom, go take care of any other business you gotta take care of. Totally understand. If you decide to come back and hang out, freaking great. Wonderful. If not, don't even worry about it. Other reminder, we are an 18+ stream. I say fuck a lot. And just generally the kind of content that we play is important. So if you're 18, get on out of here, kiddo. What are you doing here? That's the whole spiel I got, though. I'm gonna move on back over here. I can do a hydrate. Let me finish drinking my trash, though. I love trash mug. It's big juice time. Should I just change the name of the hydrate to Big Juice? Big Juice? Big Juice. It's a big bottle. 84 ounces of water. But look, it's trash mug. But I got trash mug today. Trash mug for the soda. Ugh. This is a problem. You know what? We don't gotta worry about him. We can just move on. Although there was... I don't know what was going on over there, but I don't want to turn around to find out just yet. Okay. Can you stop? I need them to stop spitting on me. I know that they're not gonna. But also, pills are sometimes hard to swallow. You are not. Oh my god. I need ammo. Is what I need right now. Get out of the water, Desmond. Oh my goodness. Alright, it's fine. We'll just hallucinate a little bit. And try to get up here? Holy crap. Okay, look. If I could get some ammo, that would be freaking wonderful. Like, I need to be able to shoot. There is some ammo in there and I want it now. My question is, when is Alan gonna show back up? When is Skelly Boy gonna come back to ruin my day? Items, please and thank you. You're never gonna figure this out on your own, so I'll do the thinking for you. If you want to get over the fence and out of the wharf, you'll have to get high. No, I got it. I have to.
This way
yeah.
leads to the top, but worth a try.
I gotta get up. High in the physical sense, not the physiological sense. Right? When will my skeleton husband return for more? Sorry, I have some bad news. Hold on. Can't... I want to get up there. I want to get up there. Yeah, I wish there was an easier way to switch between items. Because there is not. It's a bit of a bummer. We'll deal with it. But, yeah. Excuse me. Not me just staring at the thing and ignoring the enemies coming at me. Please, please. There we go. Okay, and that's all my bullets gone again. This is exceedingly unfortunate. Okay, can I break you? 'Cause I can't just sneak through there. I don't want to waste any of these though, trying to break that. It was worth a try. I need to release the brakes. Where are they? In there. How? I gotta get that key. I think I can make that jump. Should be able to make that jump. Ah! We've done it. Everything is fine. We did it!
To the top of the crane.
Alright, where's... That's a lot of them. I am all out of ammo. Please, game. I have no way to fight right now. I mean, I guess I have this. This is not an ideal way of fighting, though. Especially when the enemy can just phase right through me. And I swing so slow. I hate this. It's fine. Oh boy. So why is it that the game gives me all this ammunition when there's no fighting or even any barrels to explode, but once they throw me into a bunch of combat, they just won't give me ammo anymore? I'm a little confused. I think that's all of them, though. Which is great, because that was my last flare. Boy, howdy. Ammo? Ammo. Hello? Ammo! It's only 5, though. This is fine. This is fine! Oh my god. Please, I'm getting dizzy, game. Huh. Okay. Up. Look at all the flares. But look at all the flares. And what? You've got to have pockets, Desmond. You are a man, which means that your clothes provide you with huge pockets with which you can stuff everything into. Ricky, come on. I'm supposed to move all this chemical bullshit to the roof of the warehouse? What the hell for? It took an hour just to move the first few. What kind of job is this anyway? Thought they wanted the shipment to go to the quarry. From Mike. Well, Mike.
You've got to be kidding me.
This seems fine. Could be wearing tights. You don't know. I kind of know, though. Look, we saw a picture of what Desmond looks like right now. He's wearing a button-up and like a sweater vest. There's no way he's not wearing like even dress pants. Look. I'm not salty about not ever having pockets. This is fine, Desmond. We'll just not fall again. This is all fine. Look at you. You got this. Wasn't even worried. They got better pockets than none, though? I don't know. He's got to be able to have something on him, though. Like, I don't know that this was the way that I was supposed to go. Oh, no. Can fit a wallet in them. That's... Look. Still better than what are advertised as ladies' pants. Right? You can fit some ammo in there. We got some more pills. Great. I'm glad I came up here for some pills. Is there some stuff over there? Okay. Lady pants are the worst. The worst. Actually, honestly, and truly. This doesn't seem right. Like, I got up. Now what? Do you want me to shoot that? That's what you want me to do, right? You want me to shoot that. Are you kidding me? Is this why you've given me infinite refills here? Oh! Oh! Oh, he's angry! I'm not here. No, I want to refill! It won't let me refill now. That's rude! That's so mean! There were so many in there! Game, I have zero way of fighting Goopy Lad right now, okay? Hey, game. Would you be so kind as to give me literally anything to do a fight with. I would love that. Alright? Look. I need... I need ammo. Okay? Hear me out. Ammo would be wonderful right now. Okay, I see. I understand. I was supposed to stay on here so I can get onto the roof and, excuse me. Oh, I fell. So I can get onto the roof and then get into the building. I get it. I see what you're trying to do. Stop trying to make Jance a thing, Emmy. Not the Jance. Oh. It's not. It's not. Okay, give me all this food, I guess, but, like, can I get some ammo? Ha! Hi, sir. Oh, everything is so shaky. I saw his little eyeballs. I saw his little eyeballs.
I don't want to step any closer.
No. Get out of here, buddy. Okay. Now that I can see, I need to look around and find some fucking ammo. Ammo and health. Our health isn't doing too hot. There's some flares. That's neat. Ammo, though? Hey, game. Do you want to give me ammo for my pistol? I would love some ammo for my pistol. Nope, just flares and batteries? Okay, just flares and batteries. I see, I understand. Okay. I'm not gonna. Not gonna. Okay, we got some ammo. To Mike from Rick. Mike, if you need to restart the gantry crane brakes, you're gonna need 3 fuses. You can get them at the garage and at the back left storage shed. If you still need more, you can steal one from the generator if it's not in use. Cheap bastards need to buy us more equipment, I swear. I like how his noise is like freaking out. He's not pleased. That's fine. He doesn't need to be. Okay. Come here. Come back here. All done. Good job, Travis. Get off of me. Need this boy to stop grabbing my legs. That's a flare. That's not a fuse. That's on the other side of the freaking fence. Get away from me. Need to close up and head home. Have a wonder. Have a good one, Emmy. We'll see you later. We should write tonight if you're free. Yeah, Skelly Man needs to back off a little bit.
From the other side.
Need him to not be all up in our business. Good. Okay, let's grab those. I would like to get as much ammo as possible right now. And if that means... Did I miss a door? I might have missed a door. Ah! Skelly Man! Skelly Man! I know I've said it before, but I do really love the monster designs in these in this game. They're so good. Like, Victoria looked awesome. Not Victoria. Virginia. Virginia looked great. And this guy is horrific in, like, all the right ways. Can I do a shoot? Emmy's pretty great. We love Emmy. That's my best friend right there! I've only known her for forever. Okay, cool, great. We've got stuff. Following the event, any talk of a blank will not be mentioned or discussed. Any witnesses are to be blank, blank, blank burned. Direct orders from blank. Wait, is there anything, like, else in here? Was that it? You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is there anything over here? No. Great. You're doing great, Sweaty. You're doing great, Sweaty. Get away from me. Just wanted to play streamed in the same room. Can I have a mod party sometime and order pizza? Do it! Do it! Yeah, we'd hang out sometimes while I was streaming. And they'd just be sitting here while I did my stuff. I love Emmy. She's perfect. That's my best friend! I have known her since her freshman year of high school, my sophomore year. I was like over, God, how long ago was that? That was like 12 years ago now. Jesus. Come back! I need you to melt these boxes for me, Alan! Oh, this is why you can't. Okay. I'm gonna try not to. I'm gonna try not to think about time too much. No promises, though. Can I do this? Did that... Didn't do it. Okay. Just wild to think that I've, like, known her as long as I have. Back up, back up! Okay, look, I need some items, game. I'm gonna need you to give me those items pretty dang quick. We have found some of them. I've at least found the other fuse. However, I need some health. I need some batteries. I need more batteries. I need so many more batteries. out of here. Okay, great. Progress. It is being made. That is still broken. Get me away from this creature. Fantastic. Cool, 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 cool. I have enough flares. I need to reload it so I can pick this one up. Change of plans! Due to the blank mishandling of the shipment, we're going to have to contain as much agent something and focus on damage control. I have a civilian driver that collided with traffic not a minute after leaving with this stuff. I'm wildly uncomfortable with these dock workers and local hires handling this stuff, but orders are now to store blank barrels in various locations around blank, including blank 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 park. Signed someone. Some person signed it. Who knows who? But it was signed. I'm gonna let him think about what he's done. And then we'll come in here. Pick up some of this stuff. Also, what time is it? Okay, we still got like an hour left. Good. Give me that. And what's this? Yo, Mickey. Sorry. Who keeps putting boxes outside my garage vent? I need to, the ventilation or I'll suffocate on paint and gas fumes. Who's gonna fix your boats and such then, huh? Let that sink in.
I could probably correct this with something.
Not Mickey. Not sweet baby Mickey. I love Mickey so much. Come here. Help! Do
It's a fuse
I?
box.
Do we do one of these situations? Hold on, what's over here first? First off, it's just a flare. Okay. Please? Okay, that's fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. We're only seriously sinking into the goop. It's fine. I do want this, though. Give me all of this. And then we can come in here, take that fuse, which I think we have 3 of now. We do. Fantastic. You love to see it. Right? Just imagine walking around with all this goop on your shoes. Just every step, you just kind of have to, like, yank your foot up. Get away, 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 get away. Thank you. Practically covered in Cheetos. What Cheeto dust do you know is sticky? I don't think I've ever experienced sticky Cheeto dust. Travis, I am concerned.
It's a fuse box.
Be like Viscera cleanup detail. Always. Always like Viscera cleanup detail. Hold on, before we go out, there's some stuff over there. And I want it. Where is that? Please go up the ladder. How is he getting me? He's not even touching me. Also, when are we all gonna play Viscera Cleanup Detail again? Because that shit's fun. I guess we need to, like, limit it to, like, a party of, like, 3 for Fruity to be able to even potentially think about playing. Cries. But just know, I want to play more of that with all of y'all. Okay, where did I see... You gotta play. Gotta play with. Okay, so it's over there. Can I get over there? Have I been able to get over there? I think I have? I want all of the things. Right? You're haunted. Fruity, have you considered that you're haunted? Consider. Consider the following. Go here. That's how I get up there. Clever. I need him to melt these boxes. Stop pulling me down into the goop! There's nothing here, so what did this do? I can jump there, can't I? I see. I understand. Oh, it's just lowered the thing. Okay. And then I can get this. Awesome. There are only 4 left, which I believe are outside of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And there's our little lad doing the little lad dance. Crying for some berries and cream. Sorry. Brain is melty. Brain's extra melty today. It's pretty great. Joe, get away! Okay, now he can't get me. I'm too high up! I'm gonna need this to get all the way over there. So I don't have to pull the button again. No lever pulling. Thank you. We are doing a little better on items now, though, which is nice. I just wish I had gotten it sooner. We have exited the... Hello? Hi.
Bravo! It only took you an hour
Thought he
to
said
find your
wrong.
way past a chain link fence. That light you've been carrying around seems to be losing its brightness.
Rude.
Perhaps like you, it needs to be put in its place.
Yeah, I get it. I am gonna put it where it belongs. Great. Okay. We're doing a little better on health. We got some bullets. We got some things. What's over here? Hold on. We should do a quick look about. Try and find where the items are. There. And there. Okay, there's one there. We'll address that in a moment, though. I would like to see if there's anything over here. There is a note and some bullets. This tunnel no longer leads to the quarry or the railroad or the rail yard. I mean, it does. It just had an intermittent explosive episode. Cute. Cute. Okay, and it said that it was like here? That seems wrong. Where? There. Okay. Where there? I don't know where there is. Not the IBS tunnel. Ah! Hold on, Ellen, give me a second. I just need to collect enough flares. Continue on. That poor tunnel. Get away from me! He's so mad! Can you not, my guy? This is a bit of an issue. This is a bit of a problem. I want to see where items are. I'm gonna die. We're gonna die. We're all gonna die. Where is that? I can probably come back after we're done with this, can't I? It's okay. It's fine. He pulls you in super quick if you're not prepared. Oh, it's fine. Right? Beans. It's fine. Oh no. So usually it doesn't, like... All that happens is you have to repeat a little bit of stuff, and that's fine.
It only took you an hour.
Yeah, okay. If you don't got anything constructive to say, I don't want to listen to you. Just saying. I'm gonna go pick this back up, because I don't know if there's, like, an achievement for getting all the notes. And if there is, I don't know if it... Well, there's also that over here, so... I just want to get all of the things, and having that ammo is very nice. If not for now, for later. Go ahead and do an explosion. And we will just go on up top. Because if it's anything like the last chapter, we'll be able to wander around after we help him, right? So that's probably the ideal time to get the last few bits of medications lying around. Okay, if we can stop, that would be cool. If we could not squish me with some cars, that would be great. Just hanging out in the light until my stamina comes back so that I can run to the next light. Ouch. Ouch. do the thing now? Oh, the lag though. Bird shadows are rude. Yeah, they are. It's fine. We're indoors. They can't hurt us now. In theory. What really happened to Alan Shore? The case of Alan Shore, the lighthouse, or the case of Alan Shore, the lighthouse keeper suspected. Oh my God, you're just gonna keep ringing, aren't you?
Waking up in cold sweat, being haunted by government spies, and loving it is not normal. Neither is losing your patience. Paranoia will eat you whole, won't it?
Okay. The lighthouse keeper suspected of setting the fire that consumed parts of Icarus Point continues to be a hot-button issue. Alan's a pretty strange dude, but setting fire to his own house? I don't know if he's capable of doing something like that, said Frankie Nielsen, a frequent visitor to Icarus Point. An official press release by the Milton Haven Police Department asserts that Alan used a flare gun to start the fire, and that the case is currently being investigated as a failed suicide attempt. This reporter, however, has his doubts. Why would Alan have a flare gun in his possession, an item more commonly found on ships out at sea than at a lighthouse? The water gets muddled even further when considering Alan's call to the police shortly before the incident, which mentioned men in black going to and from the ship crash site at Patmos Beach. Did Alan see something he shouldn't have, or is this just the product of a mentally unstable man's imagination? Only Alan Shore can answer these questions, and he may never wake again. Sad. Give me those
Not bad.
ogre cereal. Oh no. I had a nightmare where I went to that new superstore and a lady with blood coming out of her neck threw glass at me. Might not have been dreaming. It's unclear. I haven't slept in 3 days. Alan. Our buddy. Pharmaceutical company Jojo Mart? It very well could be. TV key. Feels staticky. I was just messing around with stuff. Okay. What's this say? When I was in high school, I used to hide in the dark room. It wasn't even in the photography club. The red light soothed me. It was the key to my sanity.
The door's all chained, no luck. It's no use. Are you gonna beep at me again? Currently 4:49 p.m. I'm at Icarus, looking out into the vast ocean, and I'm sad. I don't know why. Sadness found a home in my chest. Moved in with all of its stuff, and it lives there now. This is dumb. Doc said I should let it out when I feel like I have something to say out loud, but my throat hurts, and right now, I just want to say that I'm sad. I'm saying it, and I don't know who this is for. I'm saying it to the ocean. I'm sad. There. Do whatever you want with it. I hate this one. Because I'm identifying with Alan a little bit too much. Oh, buddy. Poor friend. The door's all chained up. Guess not.
Nope.
You think you can replace Alan's broken personality with a new one? Simply change it like a light bulb. Go ahead. I can't wait to see it break in your hands.
I do like the fact that, like,
while we're, like, talking about people who are dealing with mental illness, it's not like we're trying to come in and, like, villainize them necessarily. We're just, like, helping them process the shit. I don't know. Are you gonna... They're coughing, though. Hey, bud, are you alright? Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we breaking all the windows? Is that what's supposed to happen? It's like, I can do that. I can break windows, not a problem. Is this why you've given me a bunch of stuff? Oh, I don't like the sound of that when I look away from it. Where am I missing a mirror? Or a window, whatever. Glass. That's all broken. Is that not right? Ouch. I think this is the correct option. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, can you stop hitting me? Love it if you would stop doing that. That hurts. Great, I've done it. Right, it felt right, but it also just, like, took a really long time. But it was the correct option. There we go. Please.
Of course, no power.
Oof. Got a case of the in-game dizzies. Is this never ending? This feels never ending. Hi, buddy. You reap what you sow, finish what you started, Desmond. I mean, I'm trying? Oh. There's a game I want to play called No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. And this, kind of reminded me of it. Generator has been showing signs of decay. Sometimes, if it's off after cleaning, it needs a push to help it get going again. Oddly enough, I can relate. Buddy. Buddy. Is it about something living under the lighthouse? Assumably, yes. But I mean, it can't be, right? Because no one lives under the lighthouse. So clearly, incorrect. Oh, it's very dark. I would like all of this goop to be out of here. There's stuff over there, and I want it. Oh, this flare gun is going to be the actual death of me. Fine, there are items back here. Which is what we were hoping for. Please. Great, that's the last of our flares at the moment. What good was that? What did that do for me? I want to know how to get to all these places, but I guess that Alan, is going to show up after we do this. Don't get your fingies stuck in there. Hold on, I just want to see if I have like a limited amount of time to do this. I do have a limited amount of time to do this. Buddy! Get away! Okay. Alright, let's do the thing. I appreciate that it gets rid of all the boxes after you finish the area, regardless of whether you went over to them before or not. That's really nice, so you don't just, like, lock yourself out from getting all of the very good items. Appreciate that. Give me all the things. And that's gonna be out there. Everything sounds weird, though. Okay. Wonderful. Still feel like we're missing a lot, though. Where is that? Below? Do we? It's fine. I Just have to remember we can go back and grab all of that later. Hey buddy, I'm trying to help.
It's okay. The ship fired. Those weren't your fault. Whatever this chemical is, it's gotta be the source. You're braver than you know.
Aww.
Alan's madness came on just as suddenly as Virginia's did. I have no doubt their cases are linked. I need to follow the chemical trail, see where it takes me.
Not me getting teary-eyed over this. That was really sweet. You good, Goopy buddy? Anything else I can do for you, bud? Oh. 1, 2, 3. Is that all we have left? There are 4 left. I can only see 3 at the moment. Again, I really like the fact that it's like once we've like exorcised the monsters or whatever, we're not just sitting here being like, ha, you stupid creature or whatever. We're just like, we're always just like so encouraging to them. I don't know. It's like a really, really little touch, and I really appreciate it and really like it. It's really sweet. There's one. Where is there another? Am I just like... There's one. There was another down there. So where is... We're missing one. It's back there. Okay. So... Posted a gif of Alan in the end. Ethan Winters RE games. We're not really expecting anything more than fuck you at the dead monsters. Exactly. Ethan was just unnecessarily aggressive. Like, I get being like relieved that you've dealt with the issue and stuff, but also Ethan, calm down, my guy. I'm very excited to look at the GIF though. That was, like I said, like, I don't know. Big time, they were in the way of his daughter. I mean, sure. It was just so needlessly out. I don't know, it was weird. Ethan, it was weird. Desmond just wants to help people. I mean, I kind of said it before. Like when we first started and found out that Desmond was a therapist, I was like, oh no, are we gonna be like, are we the baddie? Instead of bad dad, we're just bad therapist. But it's like, it seems like he actually like cares and like wanted the best for all these people and like really tried to do what he could to help them. There go my kneecaps. It was just a matter of like, this corporation or this group or whatever coming in and fucking everything up with their weird poison pharmaceuticals. Desmond must be over 30. I did ghost blue. It's fine. It's all fine. We didn't need those legs. But it's just, it's sweet. It's just very sweet and really refreshing to see.
I need more of this.
'Cause it's like, a part of me understands why mental illness is portrayed as monstrous. Because at times it can feel that way. But that doesn't make the people suffering from it monsters. If that makes sense. And so the fact that it's like, they're addressing the issues, but not making the people who were going through it out to be these just awful, horrible people, is really refreshing. It's in there. How do I get down? This is probably not the best way to do it, but we're gonna Skyrim this shit. Look at that! Didn't even break my knees. Okay, how do I get in here?
I might be able to break this with something.
Break it. Great. And where is the last one? There? Where is there? But yeah. I don't know. Obviously, my opinion of this portrayal can and probably will develop and change as we continue to progress, but so far, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah. Like I said, like, the puzzles are really fun, and the atmosphere is really good. The soundtrack has been really, really neat. Okay, where? I really like a lot of these mechanics, like with the mirror and stuff. It's hard to use, but I think that's just because mirrors and reflections are weird. But it's awesome. I like it. It's a neat use of the mechanic. There? Where there? Hey, also my health is at 69. Nice. Nice. What is there? What is there? How do I get to there? Sound off in chat with a few nices, please. It's that funny internet number. It's a funny sex number. Very good. Can we open this up? Okay, where is... Where is... There. Where is that? Is that... Okay, we're full again. Good. I'm gonna have to walk all the way through again, aren't I? That's gonna be unfortunate. I have just walked through those cars. Did I really miss one, like, all the way down here? I really did. No, I didn't. Rude! Okay, well, I would like to get back to the warehouse proper, because that should be all... That's all the things. Our only task now is to go home. And we can do that easily, thank goodness. Do want to check to see if there is... Sorry, 69 is gone now. We need the health, though. Can't be too upset about it. Alright, that's everything in this level, though. And we need more than 69 health to be able to sploot off a cliff. Unfortunately. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go home. Ugh. 69 lives in any number greater than 70. Truth. Facts. 69 is still here with us, technically. What I'm hearing is we're not allowed to let our health drop below 69%. Because otherwise we will have to feel the sadness of being without 69. We can't. It's just not a nice number. Lives on in our hearts? Very good. Very good. Oh. I do like the fact that, like... Sorry, back to the game. I like the fact that we can get, like, a chapter done, essentially. Like, in every session that we sit down and play. I imagine we'll probably come across one that's, like, a little longer. But this is nice, because it gives us a chance to kind of, like, check things out. Get back into playing it when we first get in. Finish out the chapter, and then wander around the hotel again. To, like, figure out...
You're back.
Or just
Good.
collect
I was getting
stuff.
worried. Things are starting to become unstable around here.
Yeah.
How so?
The ground is shaking and the water outside is rising.
I know what happened to Alan.
I know. I saw. Alan mentioned that driver you were treating. Max Nygaard? Classic bag of cats, that guy. There's probably a door to his house here as well.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Also, bag of cats. Thank you for the bubble, Travis. Alright, let's read. Aww. Diagnosis: Alan, 33. Diagnosis: nightmare disorder, phobia of the dark, schizotypal traits. Schizotypal? Circumstances of treatment: patient sought treatment on his own, complaining of a long-standing inability to be in the dark and of recurring nightmares in which shadows are moving and growing. He fears being touched or consumed by shadows. Born, raised in Mantouk? Raised in New York, moved to New York City at 18 years of age, moved to Milton at 22. Patient has had persistent fear of the dark since early childhood. The nightmares themselves may them...
Even after all of this, I still can't imagine what Alan went through.
Sorry, that was a loud sound. Patient has had persistent fear of the dark since early childhood. The nightmares may themselves be a manifestation of the phobia, strengthening it in the process. The obsessive need to keep the lights on was indulged by patient's parents, and it's likely that appeasement exacerbated the issue. Patient's parents were both avid smokers, both died from lung cancer within a year of each other. Alan was 16 at the time. He likely spent the 2 years leading to his moving out alone. Buddy. Patient has structured his life around a need for lights at all times, including operating and maintaining Icarus Lighthouse, leaving a previous job as a mechanic for the Pandora Hotel. Patient feels strange around others, prefers a mostly solitary lifestyle. Patient lives adjacent to the lighthouse. Patient sometimes expresses excitement involving his phobia, enjoying the thrill of the ride when scared, possible masochistic tendencies. Admitted to NLH after suffering from near-fatal burns at the night of the ship crash. Condition comatose.
If only Alan could see himself differently. not as others saw him.
Alan seemed delightful. Alright. Hear me out.
Keep calm and keep going.
Alan was amazing. Sweet, sweet guy. I just want to give all of these people a hug. Or I guess ask if they would like a hug. Offer a hug if they would like one. Why do you look weird? Are those all the... I think that shows everything that we've done, which if that's the case, there are 5 chapters in total. Because that center one looks like it would light up too. Can we do anything in here? Alright, thanks, curator. We know this gimmick. Oh, that's a good question, though. When do we... So, I imagine we'll probably have this done, like, next week. Or the week after? If it is being that, like, every sit-down is a single chapter. Again, it kind of implies that there are 5. Do we want to do... because I'm planning on having... What? What am I planning on having? Planning on doing... Deadly Premonition. Why was that so hard for me to figure out how to say? Planning on doing Deadly Premonition on the weekends as soon as we're done with Silent Hill, which should be this weekend. Then potential... Shotgun. Shotgun.
Too far for me to grab. It's
Shotgun.
out of reach.
No, I.
You're out of my
He was so close, and his voice was so was right in my ear. Oh.
There's only so much I'll come back for this if I need it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I can't carry that much.
Did he
alone.
say I needed to answer the next phone call?
It's blocked from the other side.
Sorry, I was so excited about that shotgun. Why do they always show up when I'm excited? That's how they get you, isn't it?
Glad to see it's still good.
Like, they'll be distracted. They'll never see us coming. And they're not wrong.
911, what's your emergency?
I want the shotgun!
I know what it is. You're a moron! A moron!
You're not helping. How do I get the shotgun? Okay, but I want the shotgun. Please?
I can't reach it.
What's that? Can I... Sorry, can I... No! Thank you for the clip, Travis. I was so excited for the shotgun, though. Game really said, we're gonna tease you with this, but you're not allowed to actually have it. But I'm just gonna be over here being like, this is rude as fuck. Please.
need more flares. Oh. Also, watch, it's actually a melee weapon because it won't give you ammo. That would be so mean. Also, 100% an evil Resident, like a Resident Evil sort of situation. Like, here, have this shotgun. You can't leave this room now, or you're gonna get smushed while standing in this room now. Just, please. I just want the shotgun. I'm a horror bitch. You can't throw a shotgun in front of me and not expect me to lust after it. I want it. Times I've woken up here, one. Oh. Nope, back to being sad now. How do I... Right? That's the other one. Have the shotgun. Acquired broken shotgun. Please. Please, Resident Evil. At least in, like, Silent Hill, usually you can, like, see it in a different room but can't access it. Or you start gathering... my favorite is gathering shotgun ammo before you have it, and so you just get, like, needlessly excited for, like, a whole level, before you actually come across it. It's very good. Times I've woken up here, 6. Ellen. You're sweet. Buddy. Sweet pal. Can't tell. If I just shoot this in there, that seems to be what it's trying to imply, is that I just shoot a flare in there, right? Oops. I think that worked. It did! Times I've woken up here, too. Last night I woke up to the sound of 2 men whispering outside my window. I peeked and saw what looked like the feds taking pictures of the house. Quickly ran downstairs and opened my front door, but they were gone and now I can't sleep. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, but I'm not certain. There's his music. Alan, so basically I just look at these pictures and say the first thing that pops into my head? Basically, yes. Okay, ready. First image, a trumpet player. Second image, a tall tree? A tower, maybe. Casting a long shadow. Third image, a small sailboat out to sea. It's raining hard? Maybe it's caught in a storm. Fourth image. Whoa, trippy. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. It looks like a black hole or like a sinkhole. Yeah, that's it, a sinkhole. Endless at the bottom, you know? That one made me feel something, Doctor. It put a pit in my stomach. Does that mean it worked? The test? Tiny little face with a mustache. I can't
can see that with the two with the two eyes at the bottom and the little flippy mustache there. A little girl with two balls under their parents kissing. Wild. Oh. Oh. Again, I would like to give Alan a hug if he's cool with that. Poor buddy. Do you want to reload this before I forget? I like the addition of the Rorschach test.
There's only so much I can carry.
Tests, I guess, because we're looking at all of theirs, because I mean, and I think that's the point. It is the point, let's be real. But they it looks like the version of them that we see in like the dreams and stuff. I think it's really neat. I think it's pretty neat. There's still two in there. I don't know that we can like really get to any of this other stuff just yet. So I don't know that I'm gonna like worry about it. I do want to know how to like open these up, but I'm not sure that we can. Oh, well, I guess there are vents. Where can I find vents? That's a radiator. That's not a vent. And I want to get to the basement. We do need to get to the basement because that's assumably where the shotgun fell, right? Is there a vent here? No. And this is gonna be the next place that we check out. Vents? Hello? Okay, let's go back to the basement. Oof. So yeah, I hope everyone else is also enjoying this game. I've been like super liking it. Gotta figure out how to get the gas mask. But it's been fun to play, and like the story's really interesting. And thus far, I'm pretty happy with how they're handling everything. Oh, I can see that. Sketchy. Yeah. But good. I'm glad others are enjoying it as well. I don't know. I know I get like really excited about things sometimes, and that's fine. I roll with it. But I do like, and I'm gonna play what I want anyhow, regardless of general, well, I don't want to say regardless of, but usually generally like what I want to play anyway. But I do like to make sure that like others are enjoying it at least. Is there anything else in this trash room? Okay, maybe the shotgun is somewhere else on... Well, no, because we were on the first floor where the shotgun was, right? So it's gotta be... Stop that. So it's gotta be on the basement level somewhere, right? Game. Do you like the sound of him running? It was in a red area. Look, sometimes we do Gex just to shake it up a little bit. But also, I'm like so hyper invested in Anodyne that that's all I think about when I'm watching it. But yeah, Travis, it was in a red area, but there was no like, there was nothing above the red area that we were looking at, you know? So I'm trying to figure out... I would love to get in there at some point, but we can't do that yet. And there's no vents in here. Well, I guess there is this. Hold on a second. No, this just leads under here. Right. So there are multiple red vents. Confirmed. But genuinely, super invested in Anodyne. I love that game. Okay, is there anything I can do? That's the trash room. Okay, I think we're gonna leave here for now. We'll try and... I guess I could go up here, couldn't I? Area. Ba-da-da-da! Rusty, great for crowd control! Got the shotgun!
Oh, can't take another bite.
Everything is great. Everything is great! No, it just needs to get dusted right. Also, I was fully expecting it to, fully expecting it to, like, tell me that it was broken. But we got it! Light, please. Everything is great, guys. Everything is fine. We got a shotgun. It's perfect. And this is how we get the gas mask. Everything is perfect. What is through here? Ladies and gentlemen, we got her. Give me that.
This should help with the gas. I'll come back for this if I need it.
Ah! Okay, hold on. It's broken. How do I fix it? Help! Oh no! Our gas mask! It's broken! Well, we're gonna just have to kind of rush on through here. This is less than ideal. It said it was broken. I can use it. You are correct. We can use it. It's fine. We'll just force our way through all the bad. Should grabbed those, but that's fine. There's other stuff in there! I think that's just a battery. That looks like a battery? We do have less than 69 health, you're correct. It is heartbreaking. But I saw it. Where is it? There it is. No. There it is? That's the floor above us. Okay. No, we're gonna know. We're gonna find out. It's fine. Look at all this stuff we're getting, though. Okay, game just saved. And it is 9 o'clock. I don't want to gather too much stuff. Let's go listen to the song real quick. And then we'll, take us down to the second floor so it saves again. What? Whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? What was that? Why could I interact with that? I'll remember it on our way down. Remember that there's a thing in the elevator on the right-hand side when you're facing the door. Always looking for someone to raid. We gotta go say hi to Sam. We gotta go say hi to Sam.
I can
Let's
listen
listen
to songs with this.
Let's listen to the song first. And then we'll go say hi to Sam.
A little bit anxious.
Oh.
I'm a little unsure of where to go. I'm a little kid swallowed by the shadows in the ocean, and I know it's a little bit daunting. It's a little bit scary when I'm alone. It's a little bit dark outside when I'm uptight. I call you on the phone. When we hang up, I stay awake for a while, wondering if what you say is true. I am flawed but fixable when I manage some shut-eye. Oh, for all I know, I might be slumbering, although I'd rather be dead on your couch. In my bed, in my head, there's a light, but it's red, and I wander till water's bend around.
Oh.
Your therapist, not a DJ.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that it was gonna end. It's fine. It's neat. All of the stuff is available on Spotify, though.
Careful out there.
I'm losing at Mario at checkers when I pop over the back. Perfect. Perfect. Now, we'll go say hi to Sam. We love Sam. And they've been taking, like, an extended break. Because they've been moving, and then stuff was going on. Yeah, what was that? It's fine. Game just saved, so this is where we will pick up on Monday, I guess. We won't be back until Monday with this game, but that's fine. I'm excited to play more of it. I've been really enjoying this, and I'm glad that other people have liked it as well. Let's go ahead and do a raid for Sam Killjoy, because we love Sam. If you are going to do a raid with us, that is not how you spell raid. Here are our raid messages. First one is for anyone and everyone. It's got global emotes on it. Otherwise, the second one is for people who are subscribed. It's got our personal emotes on it. We love our little octos. As always, thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll add it to the list right after Vicnent. Exclamation point R-A-O-D. Raod. But yeah, thank you for being here and just being wonderful, lovely people. I love y'all. And I'm happy we can spend time together and just hang out. It's nice. That's pretty Raod. That's pretty Raod! Anyway, take care of your dang selves. Go send the love on over to Sam. And we will see you on Friday with more My Lovely Daughter and some indie games. It's been a minute since we've done any of that. Anywho, have a great night. Goodbye, y'all. Goodbye.